Oh shit. Crap. All right, we are back for real this time. Welcome to part 4 of 5 of my 2005 St. Louis trip. Part 1 was Washington to Chicago. Part 2 was Chicago to St. Louis. Part 3 was the St. Louis area. And now we're on part 4, St. Louis back to Chicago. This is via the Texas Eagle. Coach, although that was not an issue because it gave me a nice, actually got a seat in the back car so I could do my stuff uninterrupted. Last time we stopped off at Lenox Tower on the Alton, and this time I actually got some coverage of WAN interlocking. You probably know it, but you probably don't know the name. This was an interlocking. This was known for being one of the holdouts of the CPL signaling on the old Alton route, probably for a good decade. Easily for a decade or more. It lost its CPLs in late 2019, and it was probably the only thing besides Lenox on the old Alton line that still had CPL. So the whole the whole like special instructions on the signal rules we're basically catering to this single interlocking here. WAN is part of a directional running setup. I think one of the tracks it's labeled on the timetable as KCS, but it always seems to be all Union Pacific. It seems to be one main line is one track, one main line the other one. So here we are. We're not wrong railing in this case. Although in my 2019 trip, it was my 2019 trip we were. And by the way, the date I said this was finally cut over to new signals in 2018. So the neat bit is that I did a little research, and I was wondering where is that? One of the websites had signal numbers and diagrams for this, and I determined that was actually that they got that from an old like Trains magazine article. So zooming out here a little bit in the St. Louis area, Lenox is right here at that tangle of stuff, and then WAN or WAN is there it is, the WAN yard. It's sort of right there. It's halfway between Lenox and Alton. Alton being the namesake of the Chicago and Alton. This might have also been where the old Alton terminated, with other stuff going on below it. So, yeah, it's basically the north end of the double track coming out of Lenox Tower. Anyway, we're gonna get going here. Let me see if anyone's around. Looks like some of my normal viewers aren't here yet, but I'm just gonna keep it keep it moving because we got a lot of stuff to do today. So like I said, the neat part is that this and signals near it were covered in this what is this? Some part of some magazine. So it's I'm not going to sit here and read the article. I really should. But anyway, so this is the 5R signal. I think this is a GRS plant, so that's why the odds and evens are backwards. So then we have the 5R and 3R signals right there, and that's an exit signal showing approach. It's a dwarf, but because it's a Western style, dwarfs tend to mean the same as the regular kind. I don't know what I would have labeled this interlocking as, but I didn't know what the name was back in 2005, so I'm just going to go full on. The other neat bit is that for all those years, you know, when there are no other PLs, at least you had some with some orbitals. So hold on, let me just, oops. So I have some stuff at WAN and WAN, WANN. Yeah, so this is what it looks like many years hence. Like I said, I just missed it. Where is this? Yeah, there would have been a signal right there. One second. I'm failing at this already. Oops. What am I looking at? Yeah, that's where the dwarf would have been. Probably right there. Right there. And then the high signal. No, the high signal was there. I wonder what that dwarf was up to. Oh well, anyway. 5R plus... Maybe I can go back one more. Yeah, see, I didn't take any more pictures of that. Yeah, the old cantilever was right there, so I'm not sure what was going on with that. Oh, I have the diagram. Anywho. As you can tell, there was yeah. I guess the 4R signal had a was just a hand throw. That's what I was like. Oh, is that in interlocking limits? And yes, you would have had. This is one of those rare instances that you have interlocked hand throw switches, which is an interesting. It's not uncommon. I mean, it's not unheard of. Yeah, you're right. It's even in the diagram. The 4 switches listed as hand throw. The things they did back in the day to save money. Anyway, here we have the something. There was some sort of issue, and we had to get 240, permission pass to stop to go through these interlocking. And here the conductor is restoring the 6 switch to the normal position right after we'd gone by. So here we have the 4 switch. That would be the 7R on the 6 switch. There's a lot of, so this is where it goes from a single track to this sort of like split mainline configuration. So you'll see there's a number of YouTube videos with Lincoln Service trains sort of making the snake there. I think that I'm not sure. Let me see if that mast was always there. If that was a yeah, this said that cantilever covered both tracks, but now it doesn't. So it's 9L and 7LA. We are just leaving Alton, Lenox Tower, and we'll be heading up on the Chicago and Alton, past Ridgely, and checking out all the CPLs. I'm pretty sure that by this point, the only CPLs were located between Springfield and Bloomington, and just because of my lack of memory card space, that's what I was focusing on. Everything else was just some sort of traffic light. I don't know if it was a Dart, brand, what level of replaced it was, but so yeah, I'm not sure what they would have had for that. Maybe they cut off some of the cantilever due to instability, but I think here in this old document, nah, that's not the one. It would be, yeah, you can sort of see back there. No, it doesn't look like it's been cut off. I don't know. So 7LA and what else? 9L. Oops. So here, another thing that I often don't do, because I can use these original signal diagram, I have pictures of the new interlocking, but I wouldn't use the old L and R system. So that does provide a way for me to differentiate that it's a new, the pre and post resignaling. This is the Springfield Amtrak station. It's one they're still using today. I'm sure they've made some upgrades. I'd like to say that this causes as a major point of slowdown. This probably costs a good 15, 20, maybe 15, 20 minutes easily for trains going through Springfield. But because it's so close to the state capital, there's no way that I don't think that after the state government pays shells out some $1 billion to fix stuff up. I doubt that they're going to be too amenable to shifting the station far away from their place of work. This is very useful for people in the Chicago area to head down to the state capitol to conduct business. Then, speaking of which, there is your state capitol right there. So we have to go figure out how to spell Illinois. The good news is I do have pictures of this in here. It's originally, there it is. Hopefully people are seeing it. I accidentally had the video set to unlisted when I first started it. There we go. Back to Ridgely. I'm going to try to get some pictures here showing off the old pole line. Don't want to lose those. And we have some there's the south end of the Ridgely siding, but that was under CTC control. Or it might have been remote the tower. I don't know. This is where I can go to what I had before. And I'm not going to use lever numbers. Maybe I'll cinch this in just a little bit. See how much more I can get in. There we go. the famous Ridgely Diamond. I guess it's not that famous. It's somewhat not much there to make it famous. It is a pretty oblique angle there. Oops. There we go. Ridgely Tower from the north. This one's a little soft. You can see the pipeline arrays and stuff there. No operator rate waving at me this time. Like I said, this tower was closed in 2010, and then demolished soon thereafter. I think that parts of the interlocking machine were saved and went somewhere, but it doesn't really matter. I'm sure the actual switch there was disabled sometime before. Possibly even removed. So yeah, the last, what would become the last mechanically worked switch in, not the United States, possibly all of North America. I don't know what's going on in Mexico, but like that one right there is the, just there's the lever, two levers, facing point lock, and a pipeline. Not sure where the lock exactly was. Might have been in the middle there. But that's your one, and I actually pulled up the Ridgely diagram. That's the, again, 2022 switch. Oops. That's right. Move the thing over. This looks like milepost 85 from somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where that would be, though. Oh, 85 from Alton. It counts up? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, it's one. I think it should be 185. Maybe it's missing the one. Nah, it's not missing the one. Yeah, I don't know whose 85 that is. That would be some more CPLs there. That just clear and restricting, and that would be the 29 signal. Huh, looks like there's a train there waiting. What if I got him? We'll probably see here. Yep, there was, but I did not really get a good photo of the train there. My camera at this time was not the most. I mean, all digital cameras are quote unquote unresponsive, or not the DSLRs, the non DSLRs. Although if you know how to work them, it's usually not a problem. But yeah, it looks like a Southern Pacific engine too, man. Oh, that stinks. I could try to get in there and see what numbers those are. Looks like something like 697. GP 15-1. Let's see if that's what it is. No, it's not. Oh, there it is. Whatever it is, it's probably that GP 38-2. It's in that block. And then some Southern Pacific something. Mainly looked so I could get that SP loco in there. Well, that's our first bit, and it's drawn from the top end of the stack. Alright, hold on one second. I just want to make sure I didn't lose anything there. Yep, now we're good. Come on. Now, a lot of these signals we caught in the opposite direction, so I can just pull those. I can pull a lot of the labels off the previous set. It's not often when I have a single set covering both directions of a trip like this. Those are the days. So the first question is who is this going to be? Oh, and I know what I needed. So we're starting from the end. It's probably 180. We'll see what this is. So I got. So this is going to be the first, whatever that interlocking was. This one, North End Ridgely. Yeah, so the CPLs kind of get going right after you hit Ridgely. I'm really thankful that I got out here. I mean, I didn't see all of them, but I did see some. And it was nice to be able to you know, have some amount of record of these signals here. Oops. There we go. And of course, the Ridgely, the mast with the little bit of diversity there, which I guess in Union Pacific speak would have become an approach diverging. Huh, got a lot of upper space there. I'm going to see if I can bring that down to a box. Alright, there we go. Let's just do a blanket Brighton. Not much in the sky that I'm risking there. Wait, hold on. Yep. No sense in resizing that. Ah, there it goes. Off we go. Next is it's north end of something. Uh, 170. So 170, I can go to this, and that would be south end of Elkhart. Did I even cover Elkhart? North end. Yeah, there it is. Don't need all that stuff there, all that vegetation. All right, good. Making good use of the resolution I have. South end Elkhart, northbound. Okay, rear plus. Yeah, what was really driving things slow the first time because I was always doing those comparisons with trying to figure out where things were, or see what's new, what's old. But here, because I've already done it, I can use what I've already done to cut out that investigation part. Same interlocking. This time I actually get to see the little CPL dwarf down there. Did he? That looks like it supports a medium speed exit indication. Although, like I said, I highly suspect that most of these sidings were restricted speed. That doesn't mean that you can't have an exit signal that gives you a better indication than restricting, because you're entering signaled territory. This would likely be the north end of Elkhart siding now. Now, one interesting thing is you've noticed a lot of the CPL dwarfs have been replaced. The question becomes, I remember at this time that there's a lot of theft going on of those, or they could have just been damaged, or who knows what. So when you would see ad hoc replacement, it could be due to theft. Even back then, rail fans knew that things were getting a little rare, so the signal collectors would go out and steal a lot of them. Okay, we're good. So the north end of Elkhart siding. Yeah, I was worried initially that, oh man, I barely took any photos. Like, how many CPLs did I miss? And I think that I got pictures of them all in almost both directions. So, I mean, they're not great. Again, they're 3 megapixel. They're not great pictures. But I'm pretty sure that The only ones left were in this one section of track. Yeah, one good thing when I had the DSLR is... Yeah, that's fine. I'll just do that. I could always get follow-up shots in a lot of situations. So I could get a picture of a signal and then the wider shot. And the 4:6 aspect ratio is also very, very helpful. This is the 661 masts. Here we go. Wait. Which one? Yeah, I remember when I first did this, I was able to figure out a lot of what the numbers were because I had them in both directions. And fortunately, I had just enough information to really at least get the whole mileage down. So these are masts southbound, blah, 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 blah. There we go. Yeah, this is this guy, just the opposite way. And for anyone who missed this yesterday, this is the three stages of ownership here. We have a Southern Pacific signal, a former Baltimore and Ohio ownership signal, and then the new Union Pacific Darth Vader there. I also did notice that some of the CPLs had lights out. All right, that looks like it's going to be it. There we go. Oh, here we go. There's that little, there's that one. Yes, you are getting a medium speed indication there. This is going to be Athol. Can I? Yeah, can't really get much more to snug that up. There it is. Just need to... I don't know which one this one is. Oh, it's probably the north end of the Athol siding. Don't have that many left, but let's see what we can get going here. I probably didn't even save this one before. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. It's north end of Athol. Yep. Got two more. The 148. So I guess I did better getting pictures on the way down. Cause I didn't get a front and back of everything. Another thing that on this trip, because I was so limited in photos, I was throwing out basically everything that either wasn't very good or didn't have a CPL probably in it. 148. 148-4. Oh shit. All right. Oh damn. All right, hold on. Huh. Sorry about that. Again, this keeps happening. I'm not sure what screws it up. There it goes. My bad. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm trying to focus on this to try to charge through, so that stinks. No, not 143.8. 148.3. Need to make sure that I'm getting the right things here. 3. Okay, we're still good? All right. I'll run through the ones that the one that I thought was most interesting. And finally, we have this weird. One second. I don't know why I didn't get more. I'm betting maybe it was a lunch issue. But here it is. The Atlanta, yeah. I think this is a holdout signal. It's mentioned in the timetable as 145.8 Atlanta. Not listed as a CP though, but that signal doesn't have a number plate. It is being replaced by an automatic. I don't know what the heck's going on with this. And I noticed that I didn't put the right name on the other one. Yeah, I didn't get anything on the McLean siding or all sorts of stuff, so I don't know what the deal was. I was not paying attention. needs a little bit more. There it goes. A little bit more brightness. All right, so time to swap over here and have a little bit of a time crunch, and we are now back to the CN portion of the sub, going through Corwith and Brighton Park. So like I said, it was just like day 2, only in reverse. So this good news is, well, I can go to this, where those Lincoln Corridor pictures. Heritage Corridor. Perfect. The Lambert Ship Canal Bridge. So here in what is it, 2015 or 2005, you got some automatics here. So one thing that, again, other things that happened is, as part of the rebuilding, CN put a ton of new interlockings on. So this is now known as, Lambert. They put in new signals, new crossovers there. Same old. It's over it's like some sort of Chicago ship canal. But I'm going to give credit to the old automatics that are there. There we go. This is all backlit, so I apologize for that. Don't need to resize. This is my 21.7. 1.7. There we go. This is back to the Belt Railway of Chicago crossing. And this one, I gotta go find. Is it the Belt Railway of Chicago crossing? Yeah, it's gotta be. Yeah, that's it. It's right next to the freeway, that's how I remember. Yep. There we go. Yeah, this camera really didn't like it when it started getting backlit. I can try to increase the saturation, but that's not gonna do too much. I gotta find. I wish I still had that website or whatever the. Maybe I have a printout of it. There was an old website that I found in like the early 2000s or 90s that had this guy talking about all the towers that he worked on. He was an Illinois Central guy, and he worked. And he had descriptions of like the Belt Junction, Bridgeport. They're not appearing in that North American Interlocking Towers thing, or if they can, I can't locate them because they might be using different names. But they had a lot of interesting pictures and stuff in them. That's one of those early Web 1.0 things that seems to, that can vanish. These are brand new, and today they're looking a little worse for wear. Now we are back at core width. See, that's one thing I didn't quite get it. I need to figure out that when you have these islands of towers in otherwise CTC, like, how does that work? I mean, I guess you get an approach to a restricting, and then you something. The core with diamonds. These are, well, there's two different diamonds. I guess I can just label one as the double diamonds, the other one as the single diamonds, if it matters. We still good? All right, we're still good. Yeah, so I don't have as much to say. Like I said, I'm not. I probably won't. I'm disinclined to say the same things again as I said 2 days ago. But another good picture of Corwith Tower. Real shame that got demolished. It happened real quick too, because it was in excellent shape. That's something else I missed. The pole, the elevated pole lines. The lines are still there on interlockings. They're just all buried. Back in the day, the cable and the insulation was tar and like cloth, like fiber string. Really wasn't. I mean, it was weatherproof, but not really waterproof, so you couldn't bury them. Today, it's all poly, PVC sheathing, and they just bury it. But it was always nice and sort of elegant, when that stuff was arcing along the sides of the tracks. And I think I'm going to have some, there we go, some westbound signals. Gonna get all that stuff there. There we go, don't need anything more. Just that, right there. A nice GMO signal. Yeah, there you go. You ask a rail fan, what's GMO to a rail fan? Gulf Mobile in Ohio. I could probably find out what that derail is. I probably should. There we we go. That would be the 19 derail. Here we have the exit for Brighton Park. All right, here we go. All right, got to figure out what I was doing with Brighton Park. Nope, wrong one. Fuck. Okay, whatever. Go. This is the industrial track diamond at Brighton Park. If you remember, it's 10 diamonds, 2 pairs, and a single. This is I think this is NS, but it's some sort of industrial track. I mean, industrial track in a loose sense. It's not an extra main line. It's just something that's there. If you notice, all of these the shabby condition of these diamonds. This whole as frequently happens in Chicago. They had to rip all when they re-signaled Brighton Park. They also ripped out all the diamonds, got rid of all the wavy, regraded everything. Massive
If
effort. And when I do those 2007 photos, it was quite interesting. They were dragging, they literally they pre-assemble this stuff and they just drag the pre-assembled parts all over the place. Usually on top of existing rail, and then they tamp it down and weld it right in place. The rail is a pretty low coefficient of friction. We have a backlit Brighton Park with its semaphore mast and the pipeline. Let's see. In the thing on Brighton Park, the interlocking diagram, they have. I guess I'll try to expand it. I'm trying to get to a square aspect ratio. They have little guides of what semaphore blade. So there's the semaphore blade, that one that's raised. That's for track. That's for the track I'm on to head through. There's one on the opposite side. One of the diamonds is for the and then there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and the other one I guess would have 4, 5, and just how many routes? 1, 2 crosswise, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to need a total of 7 semaphores. There's at least 3 there, and I think there's at least 3 on the other, so there might be some back-to-backs there. They tried to preserve the Brighton Park shed for museum. They lifted it off its foundations and put in a tarp. But I heard that it burned down. Like someone set, again, when you leave anything wooden in an urban area for a period of time, it burns. Huge shame, but that's just the way it works. thing. Yeah, there's 3 there, and at least 3 there, and I think there's some back-to-back. So there's 1 semaphore per route. And it looks like the guy had also displayed for an eastbound train as well. I mean, sorry, westbound. We're in eastbound. At this point in time, the first 2 tracks are the Conrail running tracks. Those were running tracks. Those were non-signaled. The next 2 tracks are the B&O CT. Those were under ABS. That was some sort of weird ABS thing with position lights all over the place. There were stop signs, but not absolute stop. But those are also not CTC. ABS works well. CTC tends to always need entrance and exit signals, or it needs entrance signals. ABS doesn't care. CTC needs to establish flows of traffic between 2 points. ABS just tells you block state. Oops. In fact, I need to change some names and the other stuff I should be using. Indicate that those signals at Brighton Park are the masts, not the semaphores. Okay, that's good. Alright, that is that for the first round of getting back to Chicago. Oops. Oh, that's right. There we go. Let's see how we're doing. We still good? All right. Oh, we're gonna have way more 21st Street, as if you didn't get enough of it the first 2 times. Oops, a little too much. Yeah, here we have a nice zoom view of the Brighton Park in all its old former glory. I'd like to be there when a freight train goes over that, but the speeds are slow that you're not going to get a good syncopation with the wheels over those 5 diamonds apiece. This is the Bridgeport movable bridge. There used to be a tower situated on the far end of it. You can sort of see the platform where those railings are. That was another one of the towers covered in that website. That Illinois Central tower operator. I'm absolutely positive that I printed that out. I used to, back in the day, before disk space, I would print all, and reliable high-speed internet, I would print all manner of stuff. I know I have the pictures saved somewhere, but I'm pretty sure that I have the text saved too. So this interlocking would be it is Bridgeport, or at least I have it as that. Joliet's Bridgeport. It's not clearly not a drawbridge anymore, but it used to be. Here we have the sort of rare triple stack unilens signals at Cermak. These are still there, despite what they did with hacking up the whole 16th Street, 21st Street corridor, single tracking it. They did keep the dwarfs at Cermak. Oh. And now we're back into the 24th. What is it? 21st Street. Now this is interesting. There's your airline, but it's like going all the way off in the distance. Oh, looks like that's where some of the compressor houses are. Oh, because there used to be. I keep saying oh. Yeah, there was a. You can see that there. You can see the. I gotta pull it up there. The crossovers that got removed. The 41 and the 43 crossovers, and those signals, including an old CPL mast, it looks like, were located at the far end. And at some point, I don't know exactly when, those were removed. But you can see the old. That's why the airline has to run out that far, because that's where one of the compressors are. In fact, there's an airline running in. From that end too. Oh, because there used to be the 77 and the 75 switch out there. Again, this says this was here in 98, or no, wait. This is date 93. So yeah, I don't know when that was. It's definitely sometime after 93. I don't know why Conrail didn't, update their interlocking chart. But for the time being, I'm going to use this. I'm going to have to use the this one. So those would be the 801 and 802 end signals. First Street. There we go. Next. Our fun 801 and 802 dwarfs. kind of reusing the same number for switches and signals. That's no bueno, but whatever. There we go. I always love the way that, especially in the old air plants, the airlines were running around with the little CP valves, and they just sort of go off with they got to be supported by the little concrete. It's just sort of cute, going all over the place there. There is a cool derail. Now, this isn't unique by any stretch, but it's a power-operated on-rail derail. This is all to protect the movable bridge. And the neat bit on that is that it's reversed. The switch will pull, and there's a crank in there that then enables the derail, and then when the switch throw pushes, it pulls it off. Forget where I learned that, but it might have been describing another instance, but. So that is the that would be the 841 derail. It's paired with a switch. Yeah. Sort of cool, it's like, this is the end of the line, from Suburban Station through Pittsburgh all the way. This is the end of the line on the PRR. But, PRR all the way with A5 crossover, A5's all over the place. Uh-oh, but they got a patch job going on there. That's not good. Yeah. This was all electrified. I mean, with electric switches shortly thereafter. I wonder if that thing is there on this. No, that's not even. That derail was added. That was not there in 1993. That was added with all the other additions going on. Interesting. I don't think those other two derails, all those derails were added in whatever that was. It was likely done in the 1994 mega resignaling project. (841B) derail. There's your 841 and 852 and an airline. Was that 852? Yeah. Oh, that would have been so nice if this had stayed pneumatic. I think I can get some more resolution out of this. I don't need anything past the end of the thing there. There we go. Oh, and that 852 is reverse. sometimes things would be interlocked, so you wouldn't have something like you have to do these both at the same time. But I don't see a reason for that in this case. So. And the South Branch Bridge. Like I said previously, prior to the just a few months, when I say a few months, isn't like January of that year, before 21st Street was closed, these signals were across the crossing. But what that allowed is, I think that they wanted to place it so that the crossing was in a signaling island to avoid the crossing getting blocked. See what I can do with this here. There it goes. That works. And those are the 804S and 805S. 805S plus 804S. These searchlights were actually there until just this past year, where they were replaced by let me get the numbers off that first. 35 and 790. Where they were replaced by LED searchlights. And they're starting to replace the LED searchlights on the TR. They're starting to replace the USNS TRs on the main signal bridges at Roosevelt. Yeah, that's the old St. Charles Airline bridge. All right, let's see. This would be Lumber Street. So those would be the 5S and 4S at CP Lumber. Here we go. I'll just pull one there. Four, 5S plus 4S plus, what's that guy? The 3N. Oops. Oops, I forgot to resize it. Did I resize that right? Oops, no I did not. There it goes. There we go. Yeah, so here we have, I don't know what signals those are. Let's see what this tells us. That is, it looks, I think that's Roosevelt. Yeah, that's Roosevelt. So like half of them, some of them are exit signals. So these 5SA and 4SA are both right? Yeah, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. I guess we crossed. Yeah, we crossed over onto 3-track. Not the best picture of that, but it's what you have. Yeah, these are starting to get replaced with the searchlights. Not the worst thing in the world. And here we have the same thing from before. Those scissors EXO. Yeah, you do get one little bonus of coming to Chicago in coach. You can stay at the back of the train until it's all there. Hold on. Stream 2. There we go. Yeah, SEPTA went through a last gasp of pneumatic point machines and stuff in the 1980s and 90s. Same with here with Amtrak. These might have been the last. I'm sure. I don't know how much was new or carryover, but this whole Chicago realignment might have been the last major reconditioned pneumatic switch plant here. Because the machines, everything looks very, very, very new. So I'm thinking of doing a blog post about like the last of certain things. The last use of the new use of union switch and signal PL position lights. The last use of H5 searchlight, like where is the last major? When I say last use, I don't mean like, oh, some guy dug one up. But like when was the last time a railroad, was going to do a major investment and was like, let's go with these? And I think that this is probably the last use of A5 switch machines. I took 2 quick pictures here. Oh, man. Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting to resize that. All right, let's see if everybody's still with me. Yeah, people are still with me. That was it. That not it for this, but like that was it for that set. We're almost there. The last bit's going to be Chicago line stuff, I think. So we got 16 left. I'm going to do one big set, and then that'll be it for today. As you can see, it's going to be in and out, and in and out, and in and out of Chicago. There we go. I'm very glad that I forget how close we were missing our train. So this is interesting. This signal bridge, it's like, well, why is it northbound only? Because this is for CP Taylor. This was a bridge here, the Taylor Street Bridge, and it was sometime between when they redid the interlocking in 1990 and now they demolished the bridge. So you have these 2 signal bridges. So they demolished the road bridge. So you have these 2 signal bridges. With a gap between them when they could have just had a double bridge. And we're almost done. We'll get this done pretty quick. Hopefully before I beat my record for long streams that I set last time. Nice gallery car there. Looks like something 442. 8442? Yeah, that's probably it. I have to check it, don't I? There it is. Metra, rolling stock, current locomotives, coaches. Yep, coach cab, 78 of them, 8442, Nippon Sharo, 1994 to 98. Or no, it's an MK Amaral. Nice. 844, 8442. All right, here we are. I guess I finally made it to the best. So I'm in a sleeper now. So instead of seeing a third trip through 21st Street, I had to wait for my ticket to get collected, and the earliest I was able to make it to the back of the train was CP 518, which you would remember from the first set on the Cardinal. Here with NSGP 38-2, number 5504, which may or may not still be there today. I don't know. I'm not going to bother to look. I don't care. I know what it is. These are the old Conrail style charts too, which is nice. This is westbound. Now we're at CP Inglewood with the old these PRR signals lasted till about 2013 or so. The Chicago line, as you probably well know, generally from Buffalo, the Conrail Chicago line from Buffalo to Chicago is mainly in New York Central, but a few miles outside of Chicago, it flips over to the Pennsy alignment and then does Pennsy all the way in, because the New York Central sort of faded out and took a turn up toward towards on the Rock Island or Illinois Central alignment towards to go to LaSalle Street. Now, I need to go and probably see what I was using for some of these names. Infrastructure, towers. I haven't looked at these in a couple days. These are going to be tough to pull up. Come on. Towers. Signaling. Well, that's toast. So this isn't, not all these signals are, the gantry has two main signals. Well, I can just pull this up on the thing here. No, not you. 518, Inglewood. They actually, this track 22 siding, they connected all the way through and put a dwarf there, and that's why that got changed sometime. See, this is 1997, but these charts are clearly out of date. Another thing about that is CP Inglewood really doesn't exist like it used to because you'll see. Yeah, so the diamonds. I think this was actually controlled. Let's see what this says. Dearborn Division, Metro switches, maintain. Yes, this was controlled by Metra, because when Metra wanted to run its trains, it would just shut things down. So the Chicago West Dispatcher sees indication only. Sucks to be them. Oh, I'm sorry, I was reading this wrong. This is the signals there. Yeah, it's mast, dwarf, 2 highs, and then here's your 6 diamonds. And this is all gone right now. Maintains all circuits and equipment. Conrail maintains all circuits and equipment except Metro maintains circuits on west side of interlocking on the Metro tracks. Indication only. Blah, blah. So, yeah, this is all they built a fly. I thought that they were going to build a flyover, but maybe keep like one set of No, they totally bypassed everything. Because there are crossovers though, the interlocking is still there. Come on. There we go. This is CP513. Oh, a 513. Again, just a little a couple of crossovers between Inglewood and the quad draws at CP5. This is like, I love this stretch of track. I have this very early, my first Amtrak. I won't say my first Amtrak long distance to run because I mean, does going to Pittsburgh count as long distance? And my first real trip out to Chicago. God, why was it? It couldn't have been dark. Maybe I'm mistaking things. Anyway, all I remember was, I was going out to Chicago. I had a scanner. I think I was with my dad. I was en route to Topeka, Kansas in 2002. Maybe, 2002, maybe 2000, let's say. 513. Oh, a 513. Oh, crap. Anyway. You're in Chicago because they used to have, there's a Conrail defect detector, and I had my scanner on, and you were in Chicago when you heard the the Conrail Chicago milepost 505 no dragging equipment. A lot of things bug me, but the getting rid of the location based defect detectors really bugs me. Like nothing gave you a sense of place like the defect detector telling you what town you're passing through. You might notice some. I'll point it out later. Some of the signal bridges. There's a specific kind of signal bridge that the PRR was they're sort of like post-war signal bridges. Not the Penn Central I-beam ones, but I'll point them out in a second. Nah, that's going to be useless. I tried to, I have like 12,000 signal pictures, and usually that directory is indexed, but I wanted to arrange it by date, and it's just gonna, It's just thrashing at this point. It had been indexed, but the index looks like it got flushed out. Okay, there we go. Maybe I should have a little bit extra in there. I'm not using all of my resolution. Also note the D boards for the distance signal indicators for the delay and block rule. Because I think something about the Michigan service trains. Oh, the Michigan service trains used to use the cab cars. The delay and block rule that was brought after the Silver Spring thing applied only to areas where you had service with cab cars. And Michigan service were using the Metro liners for a bit. Now they, since when I was here, they're using cabbages, and I think now they might just have an engine on both ends. Those are the intermediates. Inglewood, CP503. Yeah, these guys. Plus 2W. This is the type of picture I probably would have thrown out or something. Yeah, I can get a little more in there. Yep, good enough. And you can see what they are. So this is the the milepost 511 intermediate. And the 2W is, what is this one? 2W app. And the 2W is approach, just like it was many years later. But I do want to mark this as the position light. There we go. On the home stretch. So there, this is one of those post-war or World War II vintage signal bridges, and you can tell them by those the solid plate steel sort of end caps there. You'd see these in all the late model PR signaling up through the 1950s. That's another thing you don't see anymore, like railroad-specific signaling hardware. Because who does that in house? Oh, I think that we might have been waiting. Oh, you're right. So this is something that we got stuck for a drawbridge. A Michigan service train crept up behind, and we're now going. We're doing conga line through CP 509, the famous quad draws. So there's a Michigan service train. Some kid or parent was back there, and they were like, "Oh, that train's gonna hit us." I'm like, "No, it's we're waiting for a drawbridge. We're all just gonna queue up, in a great big line." This is something I would really want to have those signal pictures. Are they done yet? Nope. I think it might be train 351. No, it'd be like train 350 or something. I'll find the actual train number for that. I think I have it down. Here we have our famous quad draws, only one of which is still used, and a BNOCT Bascule bridge. Two of these were central, two of these were PRR. The one that is currently in service is the PRR. The one that's knocked down was also PR, and then the two like temporarily out of service ones are New York Central. The tower used to be right there. I think on this side. I was just actually looking at some photos of it. It had an S8 machine. There was a lot of weird PR, like PR tower architecture in the Lines West was very inconsistent. I'd probably pull that up if I wanted to. It was... No, not that one. Like Bridge Junction now. River Branch Junction. Yep, there they are. Looks like the PR one closed first. One of these pictures was really good. Nope. Nope. Nah, whatever. But you can see, yeah, they always had issues with. I'll point it out in a second. Hold on. Oops. CB513, there you go, 509, and we're taking a diverging route over switch number, oh god, yeah, it's that same situation where everything is 2. It looks like switch 9. No, it's the first one. No, it's also switch 9, maybe. Yeah, switch 9. Oops. That 9 switch being reversed is probably so we could stop at the General Hammond Whiting station. Yeah, it's odd that you would have this nice post-war sort of hardware here, but the tower itself would look like a was about to fall over. Don't know what that was about. Did I get my stuff back? There it goes, finally. Leanthal Street. I just gotta find when this was. Oh, not quite. Went a little too far. Boston, Reading Main Line stuff. There it is. Yeah, the names I originally picked were terrible, so I'm just totally ignoring them. Here we have CP 50 something 8 507. This was another one that was expanded. I don't know if it was expanded or not, but you'll see. In this one, it was a very rare instance of PRR position light bracket masts. This was added to support the General Hammond Whiting station, so trains on either track could pull over to service the single side platform. So when this was built, sometime in the Amtrak era, in the 80s, I'm assuming, this was the original eastbound signal bridge. And the neat part is, with these diagrams, I can label stuff more effectively. So we have CP50. That switch is the 1A switch. It's all backlit. There we go. Yeah. I think I'm going to get us out of here faster than before, but it's going to be close. So that I don't know what was wrong with that bracket mast. I suspect that a lot of the brackets on the Chicago line, if you want to call it a corridor or whatever, a lot of them disappeared when they went with double stacks because you couldn't see the signal over the double stack. This wasn't a problem everywhere, but I noticed on the Chicago line, which on the New York Central portion specifically had a lot of brackets. What they did was, instead of having two brackets, one serving eastbound, one serving westbound, they'd flip the signals. So one bracket would have like two signals, but they would both be eastbound, and the other ones would both be westbound. And I'm almost positive that was when the double stacks came in, and they realized that you couldn't do the whole bracket. The bracket theory didn't work anymore. So in this case, they just replaced it. Almost to the end. And of course, while we were waiting, now a lot of times Amtrak, the General Hammond Whiting station is sort of a flag stop now. It's wow. I've barely had to go to the map. It's still stuck in Indiana. If it'll load. All right, that's done for. That's also still stuck in St. Louis. Let's roll up to the Indiana Harbor area. I have this weird, feeling that, back in the day, the Hammond, Indiana station, which is sort of over here, was seen as this metro park of South Side Chicago, where all the suburbanites would drive in and park and take Amtrak, and this is giant parking lot, and nobody uses it at all. I suspect that the South Shore is somewhere nearby, so people probably just take Nick D. But that might be running way south. Yeah, there it is. It's all the way down there. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's sort of cut off and isolated, but nobody uses the General Hammond station. Yeah, and trains used to stop there. Now, almost every time we go by, The crew, I'm usually, passing, I'm sitting somewhere near a crew person, and I always hear on the radio, is there anybody at Hammond? And they're like, nope, and then you just bypass it. I think it's still a stop for both the Cap and the Lakeshore, but the Michigan trains just don't bother. So I think this is where we got passed by a Michigan train. We had a stop apparently, so I guess there was someone there that day. I think this window is a little dirty. I used to get around that with aggressive zooming, but not this time. And finally, we are passing by the late great HICK Tower, closed but not demolished, thanks to the fact that they still need to have that bridge tender there. Get a little bit about I guess CP 502. There it is, HICK. In this 1993 dated chart, it still had 3 of the 4 drawbridges open. Today it's only that one there. This is out of service, and this is reduced to 1 track, and that other middle one is still out of service. And even when I was going by it, it had been significantly altered from its early days. All right, I'll cut off a little bit of the roof just so I can get rid of that thing there. Nice steps and things all around. Oh, this is neat. It's a rolling bridge. Sometimes there's a lot of different bascules. That one looks like it's got some sort of lever action, but this one just looks like it rolls backwards. You can see the track that the bridge rolls on. Really cool. Let me see. That's track number 1. I got a lot of towers at HICK, so towers H. H. I'm sure I'll find that photo somewhere. There it is. Huh. I wonder why that one looks like it's been redone. 8/9/2005. Huh. Looks like I just did a good job of doing it the first time. That's rare. Huh, that's strange. And the second one is this one. And this is our last photo of the day, and this is the longest session, so thank you for bearing with me. Sorry for that gap in service early on. I do apologize. That's the one. Yeah, see, now we're back to form. I don't know why that other photo was so much better. This is about when, I decided to call it a day. Just going to crop out that telephone pole and go up to the top. All right, thank you very much again for bearing with me here. Oops, accidentally hit the scan button. Just gonna lock that up, but let me see if there's any questions here in the chat. So post any questions if you have them. I locked up my image thing because I accidentally hit the scan button. It'll time out in a second. I think it's just Hick, not Hicks. Which is I don't know how it had that name. There it goes. Thank you for noticing that I don't have a scanner attached. And yeah, I'm. One thing that's interesting is just I don't do that aggressive filtering anymore. I mean, yeah, the window makes it a little like hazy, but there's not much you can do. I think it just looks better keeping it. I'm not responding to any particular question. I'm just making a comment there. Okay, so cool. That's it. That's the long one, which I think we did a pretty good job of pounding that out. I'm going to delete those last bunch of pictures. 16. There we go. And tomorrow we're going to have a extra special thing. It's a lot of Baltimore and Ohio main line. Not a lot of it is. That's what it consists of. But CPLs galore, CSX action galore, old towers, mainly more CPLs. A lot of that stuff. It's probably my first. I won't say it's my first survey of this B&O's main line. But I'm going to be glad to get a lot of these photos reconditioned. So thank you, everyone. It's going to be a shorter session tomorrow, 30 something plus 18. So whatever that is, about 54 photos. And let me see if there's any things. Website. That's a hard thing. I'll drop in the chat. So I have two blogs, Jersey Mike's Rail Adventures, which is just the normal stuff, and the Position Light Signaling blog. Those are both on Blogspot. I could probably find them up somewhere. Hold on. That's weird. One second. But I'm just gonna send over my tower one right now, or my signaling one. My signaling one links to my other one. So I'm just gonna throw this in the chat. It's positionlight.blogspot.com, and the other one I think is PRR4ever at blogspot.com. Both of those have links to all sorts of stuff. There you go. And the other thing that I have all my photos located. They're co-hosted thanks to the guy at redoveryellow.com. Can't thank him enough for giving me hosting after my lifetime free hosting at Johns Hopkins University fell through due to students these days sucking. So thank you very much. I actually backed that up. So the Mark Beige PR interlocking site is gone. I wrote an article about it being gone. The good news is that it existed back in the day when I obsessively saved everything because the internet wasn't reliable. And I'm just going to I'll throw another link down to all those diagrams that I have saved. I also saved a bunch of the indices, but not in the way that I can really hook them up to work. So all the PR diagrams are right here. Anyone listening at home, you should know where my photos and stuff are. Anyway, thank you very much. I'm gonna get out of here to try to keep this as close to 2 hours as possible.